I'm gonna tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't able to save no money till we moved here, and he got a job here.
Okay.
That's when we began to save and put our money together. I was working too, and guess how much I was making a week?
How much?
First time they paid me $1 a week.
$1.
$1 a week. I was
Yeah.
not but a teenager working at that time. Okay, they went up, paid me $1.25, and eventually they paid me $1.50, and that was it.
For a whole week.
That's right.
Mm.
I know a lot of people don't believe that, but that is the fact.
Listen, if anybody's interested in getting into podcasting, grab this book. Go on Amazon, grab this book. It goes with me almost everywhere. This book has like a workbook. It has places you can fill it in. It tells you how to monetize your podcast. It tells you how to set it up. It tells you about sponsorships. It even, listen, go on Amazon and get this book. And this is the Bible for podcasters. Listen, it was ranked #1 in podcasting books. Look right here. Best new podcasting book by Book Authority. Right there. Boom. And a little secret. Y'all, when you grab this book, I think it's page 43. There is a code on there. Listen, you can get access to her class, her course. Get her course. It's worth hundreds of dollars. But this book is less than $50. Grab this book on Amazon. I'm telling you, I carry it everywhere. She is the best. Grab this book on Amazon.
Hello, y'all. I'm Jimmie Cameron, better known as Jimmie of Jimmie and Bella, the brother and sister duo, old school. I'm here today to introduce you to a living wonder, and I'm proud to be here. I live in Los Angeles, but I came all the way across country to celebrate this young lady's birthday, even though I'm a little late. She turned on June 19th, 104 years old. You never know it because she's brighter than all of us together and very, very aware of the world and what's going on in the world. And she's an angel in human form. This is my aunt, Alberta Cameron Jones. Say hello to them, darling.
Say hello, Grandma. Come on, me.
Yeah, you.
Hello. Hello.
Greg will talk back to you, but they're there. They're there. And this is George, her grandson.
Yeah, George Olgetree, how everybody doing? I'm her eldest grandson.
Now, hey, Bert, how are you feeling today?
How I feel today?
How you feeling today?
I feel good seeing y'all.
Well, I feel good seeing you today. Now, we're going to ask you some questions as we did before. And the first thing I want to know is, when you were a kid, by the way, you guys, Bert was born in
1919.
1919.
June
1919. And I was asking her earlier, when did she perceive that this country had inequities racially and so on? And in those times, many of us have no idea what that was really like to live through it. We have a living example here who's going to talk to us about when she was a kid and she realized that there was inequity and how that affected her. Go ahead, Amber. You're a kid in LaGrange, Georgia.
It affected every kid, every black kid that was born. It affected them. Now, what else you want to know?
I want to know how you felt about it. Up to the point when you decided.
Oh, I didn't like it. Because, see, when we would go to school, they didn't want us to read and write. But when we was in school, what they would do, they would have us to read to recite the preamble. We the peoples of the United States of America. I didn't like that because in the winter we said we was all one.
Mhm.
I didn't like it. Yeah, I had to say it because I was in school,
Mhm.
but it affected me because I didn't like it. It upset me.
How did you feel about how the older men particularly were treated in those days, being called boy? How did you feel about the older men in those days who were being treated with such disrespect, being called boy, and even by a boy?
We felt so sorry for them. The ladies, they would treat the ladies a little better than they did the men. But we didn't like it. But what could we do?
Right. So you decided that you didn't want to be in the South. By the way, you guys are both families. She's a Cameron, I'm a Cameron. My father, well, first of all, let me say, Bert is the seventh child of 10 siblings, 5 girls and 5 boys. Her brother, my father, was the oldest of the 10. So I asked you earlier about my father. He was killed years ago at Hellsbar Dam. He was an unsung hero in the civil rights movement. As you all may know, there are many unsung heroes that it's not, they're not famous. They're not Mega Everest or anything like that. But her brother and my father was in, I'm not going to go into this extensively, I'll do it at another time. But my father was a proactive person in the union that he was in. He did what we call weathering, which today would be something like plastering. And they didn't like his proactiveness. Anyway, what was he like? He died when I was 4. I didn't know him.
He was a kind, gentle person until you made him angry.
Well, that's the same with you. Remember I told you I don't want to meet that other lady? And Bert said, well, you don't have to meet her. And my friend Pat, when I told her the story, Pat said, yeah, if you don't call her, she won't come. Anyway, go ahead. He was artistic too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, tell him what he did.
I don't know. That didn't do no good.
We'll see what we're recording on. So like the story about what you said, like how he would chop a tree down. What he would think about that tree, you can tell us about that.
He did. He went out in the woods and got a tree and dressed them and made a piano.
Oh, that's right. Now, I never heard that story. I knew he made furniture, but this is new.
Yeah,
He actually made a piano.
he actually made a piano and he played it.
Really?
Now that goes out of what stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't no piano like this high, you know.
Was no, what do you call him? Steinway? But look, he also made jewelry out of forts.
Out of silver,
Yeah.
smooth, ball.
Yeah.
Well, it was silver smooth.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Now, you guys, both our families were from LaGrange, Georgia. And I just learned that George had heard the same story I heard from Bert. She was actually chased by a UFO. Tell us about that, Bert. When you were about 9 years old, you say?
I was about 9.
Now, LaGrange is supposed to be one of the places where there's a lot of UFO activity, even for, what was it, 1937?
Yeah, they said that.
Well, my aunt had an experience of that nature even before 1937. It's just not documented. We're documenting it now. Tell them about your experience.
Well, I went to my mother sent me to the store about 2 blocks from where I lived. And I was, after I left the store, I started back home with a great big bill I had to pay. And this thing come just as, that's straight, it's coming straight to me.
Oh.
And I didn't know what to do, and I just turned and went the other way.
But it was off the ground, it was flying.
Yeah.
And something you had never seen before.
Never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the next street. I went out to wait to get back home.
Mm-hmm.
But you just wanted to get there.
Exactly.
I never heard the story, but what actually happened, it didn't catch you, obviously. What happened? Did you go in the house, or did it just disappear?
I don't know what happened, because I went there. I looked the other way. They were trying to come at the street, told me, in this great big field.
Yeah.
And I had to pass that field.
Yeah.
And what I did when I noticed them coming straight to me, I just turned and went the other way and went the next street and
Right.
come on down to my house.
Now, there are people who are skeptical of UFOs, but you guys, this is a lady who's 104. She don't lie. And this is a true story. I know myself, as George has also attested, that we are aware that LaGrange, the place of our lineage where our families are from, that there's a lot of activity there. But we're going to move on to another subject matter. Albert, what do you feel about humanity now?
About humanity?
We on this planet. How do you see us?
How do I see us on this planet now?
Yeah, humanity. The people on this planet. What is your take? Politically, or we can even start with America. What do you think about what's happening in America now, politically?
It's something that we never, in all my days, seen before. And nobody that's living or dead, I guess.
Well, a lot of, basically, though, Granny, like with the amount of violence now that you cut the TV on, you turn it to your favorite show on CNN, and you're just seeing all over America. Not even just here in Dayton, Ohio. Like
they talk about
week is, then every couple of days it's a shooting here, and then all around the U.S. is just shootings after shootings and mass shootings.
I ain't never seen nothing so bad
And
as it is now.
You once told me that the can was upside down.
The world is bottom side up.
Bottom side up. You are precious, young man. So, from your perspective, because you have much more life experience and insight and references than we do, how did we get the can to turn upright? Do you have any suggestions for us?
For the world to turn back
upright. The can, meaning the world. How do we get it to turn upright?
You can't. It's gone too far now.
It's gone too far. I feel the same way. I feel we dug ourselves in such a deep hole.
The only thing anybody can do now is the Lord. He would have to step in. He had to be.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about
I know you know. I know.
No, I ain't said compromise that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I agree with you, because I believe in order for humanity to survive ourselves, there are 3 possibilities: either divine intervention, like you was just saying, extraterrestrial intervention, or a major global catastrophe that puts everybody on the same level. In other words, the billionaire.
That's not going to happen.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. You see, if a comet or asteroid hit this planet right now,
We do know that because
I'm
just,
sorry.
just like I told you a while ago, unless the Lord intervenes. Now, it could happen then. But otherwise, it ain't going to happen.
Are you gonna argue with you? Well, let me tell you this. You had 2 marriages, right?
Yes.
Long-term marriages and good marriages. What do you have to say to the young ladies and young men out there in terms of how to make a relationship work?
To make your relationship work, the two of you have to agree. You have to agree to disagree sometimes. And when you're going to do something, sit down and talk it out, talk it over. I might be wrong sometimes, and he might be right. He might be right sometime, and I'm wrong. But we talk and come together and thrash it out. And that's the way we lived our life.
Now, the ingredients that makes all that possible, girl, is what? Love, right?
Love is right.
Sincere, respectful intent.
One ain't
towards
nothing.
another.
One ain't nothing. That's right.
Yes, ma'am. Now, there's some other things I wanted to ask you. We talked about race. We've talked about our country. We've talked about the planet. Okay, there are those